Hello there, and thank you for taking a moment to listen to me in your home or somewhere else, as the case may be. Allow me to introduce myself very briefly and explain the purpose of this short video presentation. My name is Dan Berman, and I'm the managing broker at Pacific Century Realty. The purpose of this video, very simply, is to show you, first, how you can have a better listing experience, and second, how you can improve your bottom line earnings from the sale of your property. In other words, how to put more cash in your pocket at close of escrow. Main points will be shown on the screen to make the material easier to follow. This series was created for people who want to see an explanation of our system in video format. If you feel you don't have the time to watch the videos, you're welcome to visit our website, the address for which appears on the label of this DVD, and quickly scroll through the material. The slogan behind me, by the way, is "We care about our clients." The building on the pedestal to my left is a replica of the Water Tower Historical Landmark, a symbol of determination in the Windy City, my hometown. Now, I wish I looked more like George Clooney or Tom Cruise. In fact, I wish I looked even a little bit like George Clooney or Tom Cruise. Obviously, I don't, but I promise you two things. First, there will be a lot of interesting information shown on the screen, so you don't have to focus your gaze on me the whole time. Second, I promise you that I will show you how to improve your bottom line by many thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. And for that reason, the time you invest in watching this video can be very much worth your while. I also promise you that I will answer the question in the title about what Quaker Oats has to do with all of this. In connection with that, I will be performing something of a magic trick a bit later on. The first point I want to share with you is how we improve your bottom line, how we put more cash in your pocket at close of escrow. We do this in three main ways. First, we offer lower listing commissions, as low as just 1% for properties over $1 million. Typically, for the listings we handle, this represents a savings to the seller of approximately $25,000, relative to the standard listing commission of 2.5% or 3% that they would pay to a traditional brokerage. The greater the value of your property, of course, the more you save. Second, if we represent the buyers in your transaction, we will only charge 1% on the buyer's side when the home is at least $1 million. That means a total commission of just 2% as opposed to 5 or 6%. Are you starting to see how all this adds up? A 4% difference in $1 million property, to use a round number, is $40,000. Typically, we're talking about after-tax dollars, which makes the savings substantially greater than the face value amount. In other words, depending on one's tax situation, it may take $80,000 in net income to generate $40,000 in after-tax dollars. Third, we work very hard with you, the seller, in the area of strategy and negotiation. This typically results in a better selling price than you would get with an agent, maybe a less experienced agent, who is in a hurry to sell your house and move on to the next transaction. If you're planning on buying a replacement property in the area, you can also benefit from our buyer rebate program, through which we credit back to you in escrow up to 50% of the selling office commission. This is done with the approval of the seller and the lender, if there is a lender involved, in accordance with California law. In many cases, this can completely cover the buyer's closing costs, easily thousands of dollars in loan points and fees, title insurance, and escrow fees, depending on the county in which the property is located. Now, I began my career in real estate more than 20 years ago, well before the days of DVDs and the internet. As you can imagine, during those 20-some years, I've learned quite a bit. I've also had the privilege of working and training at other real estate companies, some of the very largest, including Coldwell Banker, and all of those experiences have shaped our unique business model that can be summarized concisely in 5 words. Full service at a discount, a generous discount. In fact, it would be accurate to say that we actually offer full service plus at a generous discount. Why do I say full service plus? Because we offer features and benefits that are typically not offered by the traditional companies. There are so many of these that I've summarized them in a separate video later in the series. Now, how can we manage to offer full service or full service plus at a generous discount? How is it possible that we can offer more for less? I'm glad you asked. The short answer to the question is that we operate more efficiently with lower overhead, making more effective use of technology. By cutting back on expenses and leveraging technology more effectively, we can achieve substantial savings that we're able to pass along to our clients. Now, if you'd like more detail on this or any other point, it is readily available online at our website, pacific-century.com. You're also welcome to call me any point on which you would like further information. The contact information will be displayed again at the end of the video. So, to reiterate, we offer more for less, an improved bottom line, and a better listing experience. Let's face it, selling a house can be one of the most stressful experiences there is. Wouldn't you rather have it made as painless as possible? Many people, understandably, even after everything is explained, still have a hard time believing that all of this is possible. To further clarify, I would mention 2 things. First, all of this is documented at our website in the form of literally dozens of signed, detailed client testimonials and references. These case histories are proof positive of the success of our system. Second, for many people, the light bulb goes on when we mention a simple analogy. Have you ever shopped at a supermarket like Safeway for a product like rolled oats, the kind you would use to make oatmeal for breakfast? This is where I perform my magic trick, quote unquote, in the very loose sense of the term, producing 2 containers out of almost thin air. Are you ready? If you were to walk into a Safeway store at this moment and look on the shelf in the hot cereal section, you will see Quaker Oats and the generic Safeway brand side by side. What's the difference between the two other than the fact that the generic brand costs about 1/3 of the so-called name brand? Only the name and the packaging. If you open the containers and look inside, you will see that the contents are identical. If you were to sample the cooked contents of each, blindfolded, you would not be able to tell the difference because the contents of the boxes are virtually identical, as evidenced by the information on the labels. Yet the so-called name brand costs approximately $6, while the Safeway generic brand costs about $2. Why is it that some shoppers will pay 3 times as much to buy the Quaker Oats? The answer is that they are more comfortable with the branding. They are used to it, and it makes them feel better. In other words, they are in effect willing to subsidize the costs of the advertising that the Quaker Oats company has been doing over the years to implement the company's branding. The basic analogy applies to real estate companies. We are the functional equivalent of the generic brand. You will save 2/3 of what you would pay for the competing so-called name brand without getting anything less inside the box. If you're like most of our clients, in fact, you'll probably come to the conclusion that the box you selected had a prize inside, a prize that the name brand did not include. Now, if you're the kind of person who would rather pay more without really getting anything more in exchange, then we're probably not for you. There are a lot of people who prefer to buy the Quaker Oats and pass up on the savings they could enjoy, as well as the prize inside the other box. And that's okay. We love our colleagues at Coldwell Banker, Lapinel, and so on. We would like to see them continue to prosper. There's plenty of business to go around in any economy. But for those consumers who do want to save, who understand the value of our proposition, we offer an attractive alternative. So this, in other words, is the answer to the question in the title of this video. An understanding of how the concept of name brand versus generic translates into the realm of real estate can enable you to sell your house faster for more money if you choose to do so. Triple the cost without really getting anything additional in return? It's your money and your choice. In terms of positioning, we are situated between the full commission companies that charge you several times as much and the flat fee and reduced service companies which give you less as well as charge you less. And if you have any doubts about that, just search the internet and you'll see the evidence of what I'm saying. We proudly occupy the middle ground between these two groups, offering you more for less. Now, if you'd like a detailed discussion of the comparison with other discount companies, you're welcome to contact me and we can do that in person. I don't want to make this video any longer than it already is. Finally, I'd like to say a few words about style and approach. We believe that what is important is the property, the house we are marketing. In this context, the real estate agent is not important. This is why we do not plaster agent photos all over our property flyers. Your house is the star of the show. That's what we want people to see, and we want them to see as much of it as possible. For the same reasons, we are straightforward rather than flashy. Our job is to help you sell your house as expeditiously and effectively as possible. That is our mission, and we don't want anything to interfere with that mission. When I'm present at an inspection, for example, I'm not going to be wearing a suit and tie. I want to be able to crawl around on my hands and knees and see what the inspector is pointing at without worrying about soiling my suit. In fact, I rarely wear a suit and tie for the very same reason. We believe in a hands-on, get down and dirty approach to helping you sell your home. I'm dressed up for this video to show my respect for the process and my respect for you. Some people prefer a real estate agent who drives up in a flashy car, sporting fancy clothes and expensive jewelry, carrying a stack of elaborate binders brimming with expensive image advertising. This is not what we're about. We are here to do the job for you as efficiently and economically as possible, so we can pass the savings along to you. We are diligent, hardworking, and straightforward, taking a hands-on, no-frills approach with your house as the star of the show. With all this in mind, if you have a house to sell and our approach is of interest to you, I invite you to get in touch with me. My direct phone number and email address will appear on the screen, along with the company website, which you can access for more information. In conclusion, whatever you decide to do with regard to your property, I sincerely wish you the very best, and I thank you again for listening.